dictate how many casualties, but it's inevitable. If I fed you pig guts, pig feet, walk around and slop, breadfruit, all kinds of waste and garbage, and you was running down dunking basketballs and swinging, flying through the air, and still talk about you're African, I'll be scared to death of you. So always put yourself in your enemy's position and see how he sees it. You want to see how he sees it? Let him do a Shaq commercial. Boom, boom, pull the best whip. King Kong. They see us all as King Kong. See us as King Kong, and they're going to get it. They're going to get it because we have no choice. Garvey said, we won't know ourselves till our back is up against the wall. So we must create the whirlwind for Garvey to return. He said, look for me in the whirlwind. Because Malcolm's in there, Zinga's in there. Let's make them proud. Hey, I'm finished. It's a privilege to be African, but Africans must unite. Thank you. Y'all want to do some questions? We got a few minutes. Anybody got any questions? Yeah.
I want to get on the issue on the television thing about our kids being brainwashed like Barney, for instance. That's basically stupid because you have everybody is, and you have a whole thing of whites, and then you have a little few token blacks, and then you got this little black child who's living around dirt and filth.
Okay. All right.
And then they want to get to the level of the token blacks, but they're at a point, like you said, it's like they don't know which way to go.
Yeah. Worse than that, what really set this generation up, and you on the one, is Sesame Street. All videos are cut like Sesame Street. Wanda the Witch. One. Wanda the Witch was walking down the street. And look at the videos. I can't even watch them. They don't focus. And that's a good way to subliminally stick something in the frame. Because they shoot like that, and as soon as you zero in there, you're there. And you're there and there, and they shoot the women as body parts, never as a whole individual. And as an object. And that puts in the mind that the women are objects. But that whole thing, Sesame Street, where men, women, white, black, Chicano, Puerto Rican, Chinese, big birds, green frogs, and all live happily ever after. Now, if you teach your children that, you're in trouble, because that would be akin to us living in the jungle and not telling our children, hey, look, don't pet the lions. And they go, oh, a lion, Daddy. And that child's gone. You have to teach them how to deal with white supremacy. You know what I mean? And you're right. And how to make that analysis. And they're good. I'm telling you, little children, they're really adaptable, and they pull in that energy and that information, and they never stop working. We socialize them to knock down the media messages. Anybody else? Yeah.
What do you think is going on over there in Rwanda about the two presidents? That's deep, two presidents killed like that.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak on it yet because I never speak on anything before I've done the research. We were somewhat up to date on that, but they play so many tricks to speak knowledgeably on it. I'm going to have to go back home and get with my cadres, and we pull out the information, then start talking to the people in the struggle. And that's how we never take a wrong position. For example, when we was supporting MPLA in Angola, everybody else was supporting UNITA. When we was supporting ZANU in Zimbabwe, everybody else was supporting ZAPU. Because they hadn't done the work, not because we're smarter than them. If they hadn't done the analysis, stepped back and watched it. It's something really wrong, because that's a lot. Well, whenever a president killed, you got coup d'etat. Except for America. Here, you can shoot the president of the United States and don't have a coup d'etat. They think I'm stupid. You shoot Kennedy, that is a coup d'etat. They shot Reagan, and Haig tried to take over. He was next in command. That was a coup d'etat. See, once you become politically astute, that was a coup. They shot him. Alexander Haig, like a military leader, came on and said, everything's under control. I got everything covered. That was the battle between the Trilateral Commission, New World Order folks, and the old guard. Again, media. Since they deliver unto us a soap opera mentality that everything's a soap opera, so when they got to Hill and Thomas, they told us, we're trying to find out, did he squeeze the Charmin? Right? When in fact, Hill was a Trilateral Commissioner flunky, and they were trying to put one of their people on the Supreme Court. Now, the key to making that analysis should have been when you seen Strom Thurmond back a black man with a white wife. Come on now, that didn't take much strain to reach for that. But if our people are not used to making critical analysis of information, and they're telling you, they're warning you, they say we got a new super highway coming. And if you don't know how to deal with information, you belong to us. Well, I was invited to Chicago by the black engineers at AT&T because they had read Black Holocaust. And I said, darn, this is going to be interesting. So I went there, and it was 400 of them working on that super highway. I said, Dale, we want to talk about the Black Holocaust. So we did that whole thing. And also, what walked in was 75 whites. And they said, and I burnt their gills, right? No problem, you know? But then I scared them to death. I told them, instead of coming to our meeting, you should have been a meeting with your white brother who just sold your country. Every treaty signed has made you obsolete. All the factories and everything are now in Seoul, Korea, Hong Kong, mainland China, Haiti, you know, everywhere but here. And you could see them, and I said, you know why? Because they can give them $2, $3 an hour when you want $25 an hour, when you want a health and welfare package, and when you want retirement till the day you die. So y'all talk this buy American stuff while your master was telling you that. He sold you down the river, punk. So instead of dealing with black people, and it scared them because they knew it was true. And then I asked them, I said, what happens after the superhighway information is built? And they looked down. I said, you're obsolete. Africans will never be obsolete because we ain't never been in the mix. We got our own continent to build. They couldn't say a word. They filed out like a bunch of drones, you know? You know? So when you make those type of analysis of the information and the social phenomenon that you're watching, and they knew it was in front of their face. I said, you here watching like you so stupid till they got you in so much into racism that you don't see. They just sold the store. Now, President Bush went over to Japan, and he's a Trilateral Commission member and also a member of Skull and Bones. Well, he started talking some stuff they told him not to say. And he fell under the table. Remember that? And his wife was up there, told you, George. I would hope Robin would at least have bent down and say, you're all right, honey. And they lived there, and then they fired that whole Japanese camera crew for showing that film across the world. Because that was supposed to be in their private sanctuary. He was under the table. Talking about he had the flu. I had the flu, I ain't never. That wasn't on no table. Old Skull and Bones George. And they had to bring him in because they told him we will kill you. Another thing on media, Mike Tyson now. We never made the analysis, so we were duped. Look at the story. The mob sees this young boy in prison. They say we can make him world champion, but we don't trust niggas, so we're going to adopt him. Think of it now. Not foster home, nothing. We adopt him. Why adopt him? Why did Cus Diamato adopt him for the mob? So that Cus could sign the contracts for the little boy. So they were stealing all his money. He got hooked up with a young black girl named Robin Gibbons, whose name now is Robin Tyson. She went through his books and said, honey, he said, yeah, baby, where's your bread? Well, that's what I got. She said, no, honey. She said, honey, my mom's a show business mom. She knows my percentages, expenses, management fees. You missing $20, $30 million. He said, I don't know. So he went and inquired and fired this man and fired that man. And the white society said, we're going to get Robin Gibbons. Now, again, they put us in a soap opera, and black men fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. That woman ain't no good. All she wants is his money. Come on, man. That's his from any of the management of the husband. When they did that by almost driving Mike crazy, because he don't know, they took him in the Catskill Mountains and just told him how to kick behind. He didn't know. Now he's out there by himself. His queen's gone. Chased him away, right? What happened? Put Don King, the mafia flunky, on him. Set him up. Now, no, wait a minute. Now, Mike wasn't a nice guy either. Okay? Let's not be liberal. He wasn't a nice guy. He didn't know how to treat women. So he said he was part of his own track. But he never was educated, never came through an African rites of passage, never had a black father at home. Okay? So, they put this girl on him and take him down. Because they couldn't control him no more. Again, Michael Jackson couldn't control him no more. If they can't control you, make problems. They don't set you up to enrich yourself. I heard Mike was in there reading ISIS papers and everything else. He'd get his hand on to find out what happened. Brooklyn Strong behind him. That's one thing. When his life, there's hope. And I would say, I don't think he raped the girl because of her behavior. You see what I mean? I would say, I don't, it's just a setup. And she's not important as Robin was. But we fell right in with that prejudice against the black woman and said she had no right to get in his affairs. What are you talking about? And we played a soap opera while they played a power game. You know, might come out, he's still alive and well, he'd be all right. He know what's good. For one thing about life with white people, they teach you. Sooner or later, they will teach you who you should be down with. Unless you're super crazy like a Whoopi Goldberg or Diana Ross or Eddie Murphy or all that kind of stuff, you never come to Arsenio Hall. But most really grassroots people who have made something of themselves finally find out what time it is, you know. And if you don't have the fear, it's fear. Now, the dropping of the bomb in Philadelphia was terrorism. But they created something that they'll never be forgotten. I stood right at that barrier. I watched them drop that bomb. I watched them let our black children burn to death while they drank coffee. And they had 1,000 policemen with heavy armament. All right, that's not the guerrilla warrior's day, but chances go round. That was the rottenest thing. It was terrorism. How many times have you seen that bomb drop? How many times have you seen on television the beating of Rodney King? That's terrorism. Just terrorism, just beating him. How many times do you need to see it? You know? So, you know, it's just breaking information down, yes.
Do you belong to an organization?
I belong to the Committee for Pan-Africanist Development. I'm a founding member of the Central Committee. And I'm one of those who is above ground because I'm a writer. And we've been involved in the struggles for the Haitians. We have we've been to Zimbabwe and Southern Africa to find out the real deal. We was in Grenada just before the invasion, trying to make linkages. African people got to link up. It's natural. For example, I was in Grenada, and we talked to the Minister of Communications, Selwyn Strong. And I said, Selwyn, come on, brother. We come in to work on the roads in Grenada. We are for the revolution in Grenada. Why are you showing Rudy Raymore down at the film festival, at the movie house? Don't you know that when Grenadian people see that image of a black from the States, they don't want your wife to even talk to them? When I can be trusted with your wife, a daughter, just like I expect any brother, I expect to trust you with mine, any developed brother. See, once you get that soap out of there, soap opera, many of our movements crumbled because we didn't handle female-male relationships. We brought into those movements that childishness that white people do. So everybody's slick, and then it becomes a soap opera, and who's with the leader and who's down with this. But that's a learning process. Since we learned all that, if we can put what we know and what we're learning today with the activism of the 60s, the only day we're not activists is now. And maybe we shouldn't be for a little while longer. Do some more study. And then whatever we build, let's institutionalize things. Finally, we must control the hood. We must control the hood. We must control the resources in the hood, the infrastructure, economics of the hood, the education of the hood, the police and military of the hood, the elders, taking care of the elders and the children of the hood. We must control the hood. We must control the hood. We must build an institutionalized thing. If our children continue to be taught by the enemy, they will never serve the African race. We must control the hood. We must control the hood. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to have homeless people hungry and dying in the hood when all it takes is a few dollars to buy some beans and some rice and somebody with some good intentions to cook it. Beans is protein anyway. Throw some greens with that. We don't wait for the government to come and deal with our problems that they caused. We must control the hood. We must control the hood. If buildings are boarded up, it's up for community groups to kick in them boards, fix up their building, put people in them. It's unacceptable that people laying on the curb. It's a barometer that we ain't ready when we can step over a body that's starving to death and then go home and look at Somalia and say, oh, that's a shame. It's a shame in Somalia, it's a shame in Cuba, it's a shame in Jamaica. Oh, Jamaica, what are they doing in Jamaica? What is it, $33 to one? Come on. It always required a people's revolution. Everything else has been a delayed tactic. All them bourgeois people and mulattoes taking turns with power and CIA Yaga coming in and all that. We can't let them take things like us and people suffer and die. You see what I mean? Problems are in our hands. How do you solve problems? You must seize the land. You know, when Manley didn't go for the whole move, you knew he was jiving. You know, you knew he was part socialist, part white, part this. When they have, and I've covered it 2 or 3 times, the violence at election time, only black died. How that? Yet black don't come to power. See? Grenada, we build something there, they tear it asunder. People talking a bunch of Marxist foolishness. We come into the country talking to them, they say, well, hi, comrade. Comrade, I ain't no German, don't call me no comrade. I'm your brother. Don't fall for that. We cannot wear the ideological garments of other people. Marxism, Mao, I don't care who it is. Marxism is the study of African communalism, and then they attempted to adapt it to Russia and Germany. So we're imitating the imitators. We turn to the source. You know what I'm saying? And we call the people, the pamphlets call them the lumped-in proletariat and the avaricious businessmen must move for us. Brother, what are you talking about? Then I see the repeat of that in Grenada. I almost went out here, man. Listen. What are you doing? We're banning the calypso. Are you banning the calypso? That's culture. How you going to ban that? You're reactionary. You're just going for white people are progressive. You're really an integrationist. And it opens the way for you and white women, which was happening on the island of Grenada. I've almost finished the book, Bloody Palm Trees of Grenada. That was the greatest covert action pulled off by the United States government and MI6 in history, with the help of their Russian friends pretending to be the friends of the Grenadians. Squeezed them all. CIA all over the island. CIA all underneath Bishop. You see what I'm saying? The truth has to be told. So we make our analysis, we move in, we study, we watch, we break down, and we talk together. We need the collective intellect of the people. No superstars, all right? No Del Joneses, no nothing. I'm just one of the people. So when people start talking about scholars, no Holmes. Not me.